Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bubbles, the podcast about comics, anime, pop culture, and all that entails. And as you know, once in a while we talk about sports cards because it's another one of my passions. And of course, I'm Terry Williams, and the gentleman next to me, we have a guest today. The gentleman next to me is Mr. Kyle Robertson, correct?
Yes.
Robertson? Robertson, yeah.
I just call me. Call me anything you want.
Call you anything you want.
Late for dinner, right?
Yeah. Okay. Kyle runs the Dallas Card Show, which has been around for how long now?
So we started in 2008.
Okay.
Eight tables, 2008 in Allen, Texas.
Yeah. Didn't it used to be at a different venue than it is now?
Oh yeah. So that venue we started in 2019. So,
okay.
Yeah, we grew through the years. 2008 we started in Allen, a little bitty hotel off of Stacy Road, and sort of went to Frisco, went to Plano, and then we made it back over to Allen. So.
Yeah, I made it to the first one I attended was 2017. I think you were in Frisco still. I think that was the Frisco when I was on my Luca chase, trying to get all the Luca things I could get, and I got a pink Pulsar and a couple others and sold them there actually, and just kind of walked around. And man, it's when I was kind of transitioning out of cards a little bit, but still I'd gotten out of cards completely then with the Derrick Henry rookies because I'm a Titan fan. So I was after Henry in 16 and then Luca in 17. I was like, okay. And it kind of got me back for a couple of years, and now I'm back into comics. So kind of.
Yeah, it sounds like you hit the right ones at the right time. Then you just, we need to put a list out.
Yeah, right.
Those were the two right ones to buy at that time.
Yeah, exactly, when to get hot. But now Dallas Card Show is doing something a little different. Investibilia.
Yes.
Tell us about that and why you started it and kind of your thoughts with where it's going.
Yeah, so Investibilia. So we've been successful in Allen with the card show. People know where it's at all over. I mean, at the Dallas Card Show, we have people from a couple of guys from China that fly in every two months, so 6 times a year to come to the show. We have it all over the world, so people are familiar with the location. And that's not how it started. People, when I first put it on in Allen, people thought it was Lawton, Oklahoma, or up at Durant, Lawton, that area.
Oh yeah.
They weren't familiar with Allen, so so we've got the familiar place, familiar town, and so what I was wanting to do, so I was looking a little bit out. I'm sort of like you go back and forth into cards. Well, I've noticed comics. There's one thing with comics is 10 years from today, Duke Snyder, people may not know who Duke Snyder is, okay? They're going to know who Spider-Man is. They're going to know who Superman is. So it's like, okay, why would I not be diversifying a little bit and putting money into this? So I started going to some of these cons, and I noticed that the cons were not, I mean, I went to some really large cons, and I felt like I was being conned. I mean, there would be like four comic vendors,
right?
Seriously, and the rest of it was about experience, which I love. I love that part too. But it's like, hey, I need these comic vendors. I need the Pokemon. I need the toy vendors. I need stuff I can come in, commodities that I can come in and consume and put in my safety deposit box and whatever. And I wasn't finding that. So it's hey, we have the spot. Why not go ahead and give this a shot? And so that's where we're at now. So that's how it started with an idea. Like I say, we had the first one during Super Bowl weekend.
Yep,
that's
I was
tough,
there.
Yeah, it's a tough weekend. We had better than I thought it would
yeah,
go,
it was. I mean, that going into that, I thought, man, Super Bowl weekend bad, and then the weather was horrible that weekend.
Yeah, right.
So that kind of offset things, but I still did pretty well selling. Like, of course, I set up as a vendor. Been to both of them so far. We've had one coming up on the 16th.
21st through 23rd.
21st through the 23rd. Yes. So there's, we're doing, it's from the first to the second, I'm assuming you saw some growth, some more vendors wanting in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and on the second one, we decided to go with artists and not as many autograph guests. And so I think that we will be going more and more into the autograph side of it too.
Right.
I mean, like I say, I want to provide the experience, but I also want to be able. I don't want to get it murky. I wanted to get it to where people can come in there and consume, and they can actually invest, because I do. I say that's where the word Investibilia came from. It's like, what do we call this? And everything's called a con, which is kind of confusing to me. But it's like when I'm trying to invest money, I don't want to go to a to
A con.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it sounds like you're getting conned. Exactly. Yeah.
it's the way I feel.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's like, hey, I'm trying to invest in memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
So and the two words came together, and it's
Yeah.
just like, well, hey, let's call it Investibilia and see where that goes. And
Yep.
it's been like I say, it's all over the place. So
I think it's one of those things that once people know what it is, because like you said, the card guys know card shows, the comic guys know cons,
yes,
but kind of where all of them don't know Investibilia yet. But that's a name that hopefully will get out there, especially as more vendors, more guests, more artists, that kind of thing come. The word will spread through social media, word of mouth, advertising, that kind of thing. And I know you devote a lot of money to advertising. You do a lot. You do a lot on social media, especially Facebook, which, if you guys are all interested in anything with Investibilia, wanting to know about it, you can find them on Facebook, and it's investibilia.com. You can go and just find them and look at like upcoming shows, upcoming dates. It's probably a good idea to go to the card shows as well, because typically everyone I've been to, you have either Beckett, CGC, everybody there grading, that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping for. With CGC, we'd love to get those guys there, but Beckett, they're really good to us. So last time they did, the first time they've ever done raw karmic review, which I love that. I mean, because I can find out what my grade is there. It's quick, it's easy, it's overnight. I believe they did overnight grading too, and I believe that's happening June 21st through 23rd too. So I'm not 100%. You'll have to watch the updates, but that's where I say that's been really. And then not only that, but like Pokemon. I mean, a lot of people fly in because they want to get their Pokemon cards or whatever, their gaming cards overnighted. So if they have a 9.5 or a 10 with 310 subs, and that they want to see if there's a bump. Well, it's quick, it's easy, and like I say, they can make a lot of money bumping, and you already know that.
Right. Yeah. So just so we're clear with everybody, this isn't just comics and cards. This is also records, toys.
Yes.
You kind of name it, and you want it there. Coins.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, anything that I can put in my safety deposit.
Right.
And yes, I forgot about records, but I mean records. I mean they just came up with grading on records. I mean these albums and stuff, which I think is great. The business was bought by a group. I think Steve Aoki's group purchased it, and so and they're planned to be at our next one. So so the one after the June. So. But anyway, getting those grading companies in is important. PSA, we're trying to, like I say, we're working on with them for the next one, and hopefully they'll be bringing their grading in for coins.
Right. So how often are you going to do these? Is it quarterly? How's it setting up for you?
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're sitting right now is quarterly. So and we'll probably. Yeah, like I said, we've got some stuff moving for next year. So it's and we'll make them a little bit more of an autograph show. But that's really, I want people to come in and be able to invest. And just one thing that I'd like to say is with the cards are so small. There's so many people that are in it and stuff. There's the margins. There's really tight margins on that. And I've noticed in comics that hey, at the card show, somebody brought me 6 boxes of comics, and sold them to me. And it's like, because they're still seeing that same stuff out there in the collector's world whenever they're buying. And so it just gives them the opportunity to liquidate that. I mean, it's like, but it seems like there's some really nice margins in comics, especially grading. Yeah.
So I'm not going to say you're new to comics, but you're relatively new to comics. What do you see as someone being new, coming from cards, and just basically, or anyone wanting to expand their, investments, basically, instead of stock markets or gold or silver, you can invest in comics, cards, that kind of thing. What's the biggest difference for you between cards and comics that you've seen as a card guy?
The grading is so much easier on comics. I mean, like when you're talking cards, I mean you get a grade 2. It's grade 2s and 1s. A grade 1 especially. I mean, there's that has a large variance, and in comics, it's more structured throughout, like as you're going up. So it seems like to me that whenever I see a card that's a grade 2, if I see a comic in the same condition, it would grade somewhere around a 4 or a 5.
Right.
And so and I wasn't used to that. I wasn't ready for that. So when I bought that collection at that last show, I was thinking that probably my comics were a little bit lower graded or quite a bit lower graded than what they were.
Right.
so that was a happy
surprised.
surprise.
Yeah.
That was a happy surprise.
Yeah.
But anyway, but like I say, the margins are there. It's like you go get those things graded. I mean, you take them down to CBCS and those guys are great. I mean, it's like you're just turning money into more money. It's like
Right.
the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So you're looking at it from you're looking at this hobby as a way, as an investment, basically, a way to diversify your portfolio a little bit.
Yes, that's what I like. Well, I also love having the stuff too.
Yeah.
Tangible assets. I can go in Bitcoin. I don't understand Bitcoin. I'm too old for Bitcoin.
I don't either. I feel the same. I'm like, it sounds great, but it's kind of like with the what were those? They were doing the card where it was like a moment or something. It was this. Josh, do you know what that was? Where they did the thing with the cards. It was like a moment. It was some kind of a virtual card or something they were doing for a while.
Virtual cards. Yeah, that's great.
I know what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
because there was like the Luca moment and all this kind of stuff, and it's this.
Yeah, it was like an NBA NFT or something.
Yeah, NFT.
Like
yeah,
NFTs.
you could. Yeah, you could like purchase it.
I forget what they're called though. Slam, NBA Slam.
Yeah, I think
or something
so. But
like
it's
that.
already like they were really there for like the first year. They were exorbitant, and now the bottom's knocked out because it's like you're basically buying a 10-second shot of Luka making a layup, and it's like, but you can go watch that on the internet for free anytime. So how does that have any value? That's where it doesn't. But for me, it's the same with Bitcoin for me, and I understand it's great.
Right.
But for me, I like having X-Men 1 in my hands because I know this is X-Men 1. I know it's worth X.
Right.
Or 52 Mantle. I know it's worth X.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So,
that's exactly that's the way I feel about it too. Like I say, it's if I just. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I'll ever be able to invest into the little clips or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's.
So do you see a big upside to this? I mean, obviously you wouldn't invest your money in something that you don't think is going to do something.
Right.
So with Investibilia, and by this I mean Investibilia, as far as growing, becoming something better, something bigger.
Yeah.
Because you have, but right now it's in one room at the. Hotel.
Yeah, so it's over 30,000 square foot right now. And we have the rooms up front, and then we have the foyer up there. So it's we'll have a small trade night this one coming up. And so that'll be on the 22nd. So if anybody wants to come out and trade, but I mean, I can see this coming into something. I mean, like I say, I love the autograph part of it. I love I've been, like I say, I go to the cons and I'll see somebody selling like bath soaps, and then I'll see 4 fudge, which I'm all in. You've sold me whenever you brought out the fudge, But anyway, I see that kind of stuff, and there's too much in between the comic vendors or anything that I have that I believe that's tangible. And like I say, I do understand I'm a different customer because I'm looking for tangible assets, and these other people they're looking for an experience. And so, but I do believe there's enough people out there like me that probably do see this as tangible assets.
From a collector first and seller second. I want to see when I go to, because I went to Comic Palooza a couple of weekends ago, and there were 7 comic vendors, which it's called Comic Palooza. It's a 90,000 square foot building, and there's 7 comic vendors. It's like,
yes.
Which, don't get me wrong, I did good, and it was a great experience, and I love it. But for guys like us that want to, if you go to a card show and there's 3 card vendors, it's like, okay, is it a card show?
Right.
Yeah, and you're like, okay. To me, as a consumer, I'd feel kind of cheated.
Right.
I paid for entry, I paid for parking, paid to bring, if I bring the family, it's another, 4 tickets. The kids are going to want food. And so I've spent all this money, and yet I didn't find any fulfillment.
Well, that's exactly the experience that I was finding. So so that you've hit it right on.
Yeah.
That's it. And so it's putting those people in the same building to where we can actually go in and get the experience maybe a little bit. And like I say, the other events are great, and they knock it out of the park. But coming in to pay $65 or $100, $124 to get in. I mean, it's like it takes some money out of the budget for the family.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'd like to change that, maybe change the paradigm a little bit.
Yeah, because because Investibilia is still relatively inexpensive. I mean, tickets to get in are how much are they? I mean,
they're $10.
$10,
right
yeah.
now.
And then parking's 10, correct? So basically $20.
Unless you park
across the street. Yeah.
Don't forget about that.
Right. There is that. So I know that like the Dallas Card Show is huge. It's grown from being, like you said, a few tables to being all over. It's huge now. And now you're doing even card shows in other Dallas card shows in different states. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, we're doing some, yeah.
Do you see that being Investibilia as well? Am I getting ahead of myself?
Getting a little well. So here's what I would like to do is here in Dallas is, and like I say, this is sort of what I'm talking about. So here in Dallas, we're in the middle of everything. Okay, so somebody can fly in from California. It's a 3-hour flight. I can fly in from New York. It's a 3-hour flight. Florida, 3-hour flight.
Right.
Mexico City. It's a fairly quick flight. So you can fly in from all these places and meet up. And like I say, it's if I can get all the right vendors in the right room. Now it's nice if you have a 2 million square foot facility and it's a comic book show and you only have 7 vendors there, then you're going to do great, right? Yeah. But this is more as look at it as Wall Street, okay? So we're trying to distribute the right assets to the right places. So the comic book shops from all over, that's what I'm anticipating to. That's what we're looking for, and then as we grow at that, then we'll sort of follow the Dallas Card Show model, and we'll do that, and maybe even combine some stuff later on.
Yeah. So because there's definitely a market for that. I see, like for me, I'm really excited about Heroes Con because that's next weekend, and it's one of those where there's 286 vendors and 220 of them are comic vendors.
Wow!
So it's a comic con. It's a show that because for me when I go to these, I'm going, 1, to sell and make money. 2, I'm going to, you've seen me walking around before, like Investibilia. I walk around and I'm looking to buy stuff. What can I find that I want,
Yeah, that's right.
So, so it's and then, adding a trade night is really cool. So then you can come in and trade or maybe make some deals, dealer to dealer, that kind of thing. So, I can definitely see it being something well. But with the one coming up, do you still have any, if folks watching want to be a vendor, or do you have spaces left?
Yeah, we do have spaces. So it's Investibilia.com. You just go there. You can go to our Facebook, or if you have any questions, or Instagram. Yep. And but it's on Investibilia.com, and all the tables are there. You can just go in and purchase whichever booth you want. It's a little different than the card shows. It's not single tables, it's a booth. So you have a 10 by 10 to adjust however you want.
Yeah.
So.
And just so you know, when I've been doing this, of course, I talk with you, I talk with your staff, and it's always been really easy, simple to get set up. If there's any questions, just call and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, because I'm by no means computer savvy. I'm old and don't care. So it's easier for me to just call and say, hey, can you help me with this? And they're always great. I forgot the young lady's name.
Jerica.
Yeah, Jerica. She's great. She's like Johnny on the spot. She's back there running everything, and it's great. Well, great, but it flows good.
You're going to get some upgrades on tables for that.
That was what I was hoping.
Yeah.
Jerica, if you're listening, you're great. Remember.
That's right.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where I definitely see it becoming more, and it's just about getting the word out. And like you said, you're working on guests, you want to do a little more there. So definitely see it becoming something more. For you, so now that you're into comics, obviously you're still into cards. Is there anything else that you personally collect that you just like? And like for me, I'm an album guy. Well, not an album guy. I'm a Prince guy. So I buy Prince albums.
Yeah, right.
When I find those, which are getting harder to find, and finding those that I don't have, but it's still that search that I want to find them. And I don't like, I could go and buy them on eBay or something, but it's not as much fun.
Right.
I like finding them and looking at them and holding it, making a deal. I like the deal part of it.
That's fun, yeah. It's fun. Upgrading the collection. Yeah. That's it. Sort of purging your collection, maybe. That's what I like doing. So albums. So I collect. I've always had albums and collected albums a little bit, but now that they have grading, it's like I absolutely put those. I see that as an investment grade now. So coins. I love the old 1800s. Anything that's 1899 and back, the silver dollars or gold coins. I mean, I love those.
Yep.
So the cards. I mean, even the Pokemon cards. Anything. I mean, if I see it as somebody's holy grail at somewhere, I want to collect it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going for.
Yeah,
so.
that tangible asset.
That's it. That's what I see it. And like I say, I don't know if I might be 0.5%, but 0.5% of 300 million people. That's a lot of people.
But I think we're seeing more and more of the investment type guys. At least I have with the comics over the since COVID.
Yeah.
For instance, when people had the disposable income, they had the extra money coming in the market for cards and comics kind of shot up there because people had that extra money, and we were sitting at home not doing anything. Guys didn't want to hear from the wife anymore. We went out and dug in the garage or the attic and found our old collection and started going through it and brought back the nostalgia and the memories and how much fun it was and got back into it. And we're seeing that doesn't really change. People at heart, like for me, there's like the 72 Topps baseball set. I love that set. One of my favorites. And when I see them, I just know that brings back some common. I automatically think back to that time.
The psychedelic days.
Exactly.
What that set is. Yeah.
Or the 80 Topps, the Ricky Henderson Ricky was one of my favorite cards. It still is.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, not because it's Ricky Henderson's Ricky. It's just one of the cards that I wanted to collect out of that set, and I was chasing and chasing and chasing.
Yeah.
Buying packs at Walgreens or whatever. And now that's changed just so much, and the whole industry has changed. It's becoming one of those things where when I was a kid, I didn't go into my first card show. I heard about First Base that used to be over on I can't think of the street. It's in Dallas. We always wanted to come to it because it was a card show. I mean, a card shop. Didn't know what they were because until then we would put our cards in the old photo albums, so the magnetic photo albums.
Yeah, that's right.
In there and have them displayed and tear them up and
now
we know better.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things with me is the paper. I think that's why I'm drawn to like comics and cards because the paper aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's so fragile. Finding a 52 Mantle in high grade or a Spider-Man 1 in high grade to me just seems so impossible because it's been through so much.
Right.
And people were rough with it like I was as a kid. You read it, you played with them, whatever. So finding those is like, oh, that's really cool.
That's the way I see it too. And we're talking about a small percentage that collect. It's like, you have larger and larger. It's incredible what the internet's done, and all the influencers out there that are bringing in. It's just like they're bringing in. I'm watching some. There are influencers out there for Pokemon, but they have 100,000 followers, and like they'll get 40 or 50,000 views on what. But that continues to grow, and it continues to grow worldwide. The guys. There's some of the card companies that are around here that make cards that but they're coming up and like I say, the vendors from China that come in every time. Well, they came and introduced us and it's like, well, hey, he sets up every time, and they're like, wow. And so, but they have like the largest soccer card market in the world over in China. So it's like, it's incredible, and it's like the growth potential of it is. All this stuff is right here. It's right here, right now, and it's like. Somebody asked me, hey, do you think ever that 89 Topps will ever be rare? And I'm not sure that'll ever happen.
Right.
But there's 5-6 billion people, however many it is. But you start taking like one out every 10,000 out of that could be a card collector or a comic collector or like I say, a tangible asset investor. I believe that this has a lot to grow.
It absolutely does. And the market continues to change as far as comics. Books that were in dollar boxes last year are now $50 books or $100 books based on movies, that kind of thing. So this niche that we're in that used to be very, very small and kind of reserved for comics anyway, nerds, outcasts, that kind of thing, is now it's an accepted median and people are seeing the value in it. And there's people who, like you, may not have a comic past that are getting into comics simply because of the investment potential.
Right. Hey, like I say, everybody's seen Superman. Everybody's seen, most people have seen Superman, Batman. So as you go on, there's going to be people all over the world that are going to be that's going to recognize that. Yeah. They're going to eventually want those collectibles.
Yeah, so. I think that's one of those things. If it's not, Mickey Mantle, those guys, Michael Jordan, people know those. Tiger Woods, people know those.
Yeah.
But when you get to like guys I like Darryl Strawberry, everybody doesn't know. If you're not a baseball fan or a drug addict, I guess you don't know who he is.
Right.
But everyone's heard of Superman or Batman or Spider-Man or whatever. So I see that being way the base being larger.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Awesome.
And there's a lot of good finds at those shows too. So.
Yep. So again, it's Investibilia.com. Go there, check them out. If you're looking for a booth, fill out the form, get you a booth set up. If you're just looking to come out and buy some stuff or look around or whatever, please, I do that too. There's a lot of, man, again, it's one of those experiences that it's not the big, you're not going to come out and find a lot of T-shirts or trinkets. You're going to come out and find tangible items that are investment worthy, which is what Kyle's trying to get done. And so far I've really enjoyed it, and we'll be at the next one as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And thanks for dropping by, sharing some time with us, talking about it. Anything else you want to talk about as far as or promote that I don't know about?
We'll have Kevin Von Erich at the show, and we have some others that are cool. Other guests that'll be announced here coming up. I believe Andy with Toy Story will be there.
Oh, cool.
So I believe we have him set up. So, and like I said, we have some more to be announced. And then for the July 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th show, Dallas Card Show, we have, I think we have 8 Texas Rangers coming, current ones, and we have Ian Kinsler, and we have some more autograph guests that are coming after that.
Okay,
too.
so a lot of, that's what I've liked about the card show is it's a great place to get some really cool autographs and meet some great people like Drew Pearson, people, all kinds of Cowboys and Rangers, and lots of fun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
cool.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, we appreciate it. Thank you for dropping in. And again, Investibilia.com. Go check it out. Also, go subscribe to this podcast, please. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes. If you have any comments, questions, please leave those for us. We want to hear from you. We want to react with you. We want to talk with you. Let us know what you want to see, what you liked, what you didn't like. Again, if you don't want to look at my smiling face, you can definitely just listen on Spotify and all those without watching. But I appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.